Welcome everyone to our next Creative Careers series. And today we are going to be learning about job search techniques. So I'm excited to share with all of you some of the job search tips that were shared during a Career in Films Summit in 2 consecutive weekends. And I'm excited to I can't wait to share everything that was shared with everyone who was there. There's over, I don't know, 1,000 participants. I can imagine it was it was globally attended. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you for joining me today. My name is Sarai Maldanado, and I am the career counselor for the Division of Arts and Letters. And I focus on helping our students from the Institute of Media Arts. And today we're going to, I do want to just remind you all that I do have office hours Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 5 to 7. However, if you cannot make it during those times and days, send me an email so that I can schedule something at a mutually convenient time. All right, let's go ahead and get started with virtual engagements. First of all, I want to make sure that all of you are aware that this workshop is being recorded, and it's 50 minutes in length so that you can track your time. Also, for questions as we go through the presentation, I encourage you to enter your questions in the chat box. I will be reviewing the chat box periodically. I will be pausing to make sure that I answer your questions. For class credit type of, if you're here for class credit, please email me so that I can send your participation to your professor. All right, let's move on. I am excited to share with all of you that, again, I attended these 2 consecutive weekends on, so you can see here, Introduction to Esports, and it was all about representing in gaming and entertainment. But all of that also includes a lot of what you do, right? So again, I am just excited to share what they share with us. But these are the learning objectives for today. I want to go over understanding the basics of job search, how to create your career plan, job search approaches, the use of social media nowadays, access to employer information, and also how to identify other resources for job search. So let's go ahead and get started with the job search basics. First and foremost, you have to identify what you enjoy. And you're probably asking yourself, well, Sarai, I'm already in the major that I'm really enjoying. However, that major has a lot of opportunities under it. So you have to narrow it down. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Pre-COVID, job search would take about 6 months to land a position. Nowadays, we don't have the statistics of how long it's taking, but I can assure you it's probably twice as long. Plan accordingly, so start before graduation. If you're graduating in spring, I am encouraging right now, please schedule time to meet with me, because I will be assisting you from the beginning until you get that internship or that opportunity, your first opportunity in your industry. Also consider, again, the internships that I can help you identify. And actually, I have some internship opportunities available. If you reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to share what those are. And they're exciting. They're really, I mean, right now in this virtual world, any internship offerings, you need to just take advantage and apply, because less people are applying. So you have a better opportunity right now. Use traditional and innovative job search techniques. And I say traditional and innovative because there's some traditional techniques, job searching, that it's very important that you also expand your job search engines, not just internet. Be creative and initiator on how you reach out to employers. So attending these type of virtual conferences or summits will connect you with these professionals, because I can tell you right now, based on all the chatting that was happening between the professionals and the panelists and the participants in the summit, were also connecting with each other. They were chatting away about some of the resources they were sharing with each other. And I can assure you that most of them connected with each other. So again, the next thing and most important, I think this should be on the very top, is be patient, respectful, and confident, but not overconfident when you come across as arrogant. So let's go ahead and move on with creating your career plan. I'm going to continue emphasizing and overemphasizing how to be clear on your top 3 careers in film. Organize yourself. And by organizing yourself, I am encouraging you all to consider tracking all of your job activities via Trello. There's so many project management platforms out there, teams. I know that I use Trello for my organization. So think about Trello is one of those where you can organize yourself, and it actually helps you keep track of your goals. This is the time when you take that top 10 organizations that you are interested in being part of their team. I cannot emphasize enough to start big. I know that these are 10 organizations, and I want you to write them down in a piece of paper, put them everywhere where you can see them, and start with the place where once you graduate and you have your degree, this is the place where you will be super happy to be at. This is the organization. This is your dream place. That will be your number 1. And then go to your least, like, okay, I'll go with there. I'll start that. I can get my foot in the door by starting on my 10th organization. And you'll be surprised if you land the position on your 10th option, at least is part of your 10. And all you start doing is going to, okay, now that you get the experience, you go to the next, the 9th, the 8th, 7th, 5th, until you get to the number 1. That's something to think about. Meet with a career counselor. So I'm here to support your career search, and I'm here to support also how to prepare for that career, for the job search. Develop your professional brand on employment websites. I personally am very, very prone to using I very much like LinkedIn, because it is a professional network. And everyone there is respectful and professional, and you can really leverage your job search through LinkedIn. Always maintain a positive attitude. That is very important, because employers can actually see how your demeanor is coming across. And remember, most recruiters, and me being a recruiter for over 20 years, I always hire people that have the positive attitude versus someone who's extremely knowledgeable but can't be a team player. So that's very important. Actually, one of the panelists that created all the Book of Life, she expressed that team chemistry is very, very, very important. So when you're going to interviews, then you also have to see how this organization fits with your culture and your values. Um, the last thing is in your career plan is start thinking of your mock interviews, because after you create your job search, you're going to start applying, then you are going to start interviewing. So you want to be ready for this interview. Job search approaches. I want to emphasize one more time, narrow down your top 3 careers you want to target. And I want to share that the majority of the panelists agreed on that, to harness your craft, to focus on what organizations and professionals in those fields are doing, what is over or below the line job means in the film industry. I can tell you that's one of the learning experiences I had during the summit. So if you have no idea right now what those positions are, start looking into that. Understand the titles and deliverables of the job that the job requires. One example that I want to share with all of you, as you're reading that, and create your professional network. Your work is your brand and identity. Job descriptions that line up with your with what you most enjoy. That is the most important piece that all panelists agree and emphasize. Harness your craft, but harness what you enjoy most. I want to share what Rick Baker, who is a retired special makeup artist, effects creator, and actor. If you ever seen Wolfman, he definitely was the creator of that. But he did share, ask also these professionals as you're networking, what is the time, what does your one day at work look like, feel like? Because he said, when he was putting together the Wolfman, it was a 12-hour day that he put out there. But he did share one of the best approaches in job search, and I want to say is the oldest approach, and that is connecting with people. In other words, networking. And Rick shared that at 13 years of age, he went with his father to turn in something related to his father's work, his job. And so he had to take his son with him. For some reason, he couldn't leave. For some reason, he was with him all day that day. Well, when he went to deliver what he had to deliver at that work site, he noticed the name of the person he met, and he saw the contact number, wrote it down, and guess what? He called him, and he went ahead and met with Jack Pierce, who's a makeup artist. He's a legend. So from there, he says the rest is history for him. He's just in love with his career and the journeys he's had. He's just been very fortunate because as a 13-year-old, he had that drive and he knew what he wanted and he was clear. Okay. All right, let's move on. Access to employers from recruiters. As you can see, this is part of what the workplace report from 2017 company websites are on the top. Referrals are always how most employers also obtain their first job opportunities or promotions. So I'm just sharing this with you all, but I also want to share the next thing of the use of social media from recruiters. This social media has actually changed and it has shifted because of our virtual world now. But right now, the number one, this is way back in 2018, but right now, LinkedIn is by far the number one recruitment of search professional platform for recruiters to recruit for top talent. So if you, I encourage you to continue developing your LinkedIn, put your projects in there and showcase, and this is the place where you want to brand yourself as a professional in your craft. All right, let's move on. I do want to say how important informational interviews are and a couple of the steps that I encourage you to take so that you have a plan that it's very concise and specific to what you are searching for. That's the important thing, because your mind has to be in continuous searching into those same 3 careers of interest, your top 10 organizations, and you are going to then start identifying that professional with whom you can meet to ask questions. The informational interview is exactly that. It's just information gathering. Learn about what this job requires of you. What are the expectations? What challenges do they have on the daily basis, if any? And how do they overcome those challenges? Those are some of the questions that you want to write down so that you are prepared when you go into that informational interview. Because remember, time is money. So these professionals are giving you their time, and this is just because they're so excited to see you succeed. And so one things that I did learn is this Explore Masterclass. I encourage you all to take a look in there because it provides you with all of the producers that you can find in Hollywood are in this masterclass, and you learn from them through that platform. I cannot express how much I encourage you all to start looking in there, because that's one way to network and stay up to what the film industry is leading towards, especially right now in this virtual environment. I mean, there's a lot of new movies that are going to come out of this virtual world to represent our lives, right? All right, next. The internet search is, I want to share the advantages and disadvantages, but the internet search right now is thriving. You do have access to timely jobs, you're 24/7. So whatever work schedule, school schedule you have going on, you can apply at any given time. And you can also find some unusual careers that you may not have thought about, but the organization that you are interested in has that opportunity and you want to look into it. You can also communicate with professionals. As I mentioned earlier, through LinkedIn, you can connect with recruiters, post your resume, and just apply online. Quick and easy. The disadvantages, though, is the vast number of jobs. It's so time consuming to go over so many jobs, right? Privacy issue to posting your resume. That's another thing to consider. You want to be very careful because in nowadays it's cybersecurity and identity theft is a real thing. So please keep in mind where you're posting your resume and to whom you're sharing your resume with. Also, the disadvantage of the internet is that we overutilize the internet. We think that's the only place we can get a job. That's the only place to go about finding your new, your first job or your promotion. And you also have to be careful with those fraudulent job postings, especially those that are asking for you to be their personal administrator, and it's going to be virtual. Here it is. I'm going to send you a check, but it's going to be like for $1,000. Can you go ahead and cash it and send me back 500? Because all I'm doing is paying you 500. Well, guess what? That sounds a little fishy to me. So be careful with that. Next, let's go with the non-traditional ways of job searching. Over 70% of job search are in the hidden market. And what is the hidden market? The hidden market is those professionals or acquaintance, friends, family friends that work in a place of your interest, and they come to your house or you meet them somewhere on a mixer, somewhere. You probably could meet this person in a virtual world as well. And they would share about upcoming opportunities, jobs, and internships for the majority of the time. And they have these already in their recruitment plan, but they have not yet posted those jobs in anywhere. They're barely just being thought about. They're barely thinking we're going to recruit for these. So guess what? Your friends or whoever your connection is will say, hey, John, are you interested in this particular position? This is now opening. They haven't yet posted, but when they post it, I would like for you to apply for it. And this is a very effective, actually, for me, it's the number one effective way of landing your first job or your promotional job, because now someone's vouching for you, right? Someone inside gave you access to the hidden job opportunity. So that's why it's called a hidden job market. Develop your professional brand and identity. I'm going to continue saying this in a traditional or traditional and innovative ways. I can only imagine all of you having so many innovative ways to brand and identity and brand your identity. Express your interest and aspire and your aspirations to professors, to colleagues and relatives. Leverage your social media for distance networking. That's right now what's that's what's thriving right now, the distance networking, because guess what? We're boundless. You can network with anyone out of anywhere in this world. Right now, it's a global networking. Participate in professional and community networking events, such as the when you get events that are being shared with you. I'm going to start sharing some of those events with you all. I encourage you to participate, because you just never know who you're going to connect with on that day. You just never know if you're at the right time, the right place, and you are just in your confident mode. You're in your element, and you meet that person and you make a connection. And what? You just showed up on something that was, shared with you, and it's free. And now it gives you an opportunity to land a job. That's priceless. All right, next, traditional ways. So remember when we talked about overutilizing the internet? Traditional ways still has a way of helping you land your job. So some of the advantages of these newspaper, job fairs, career services, newsletters, all of these traditional ways are easy to manage. Most of the job openings are legitimate. It's easy. You can easily develop personal relationships with the employer, because you're reaching out to them. They posted it, so they're taking calls, because they're doing the recruitment in a traditional manner. Disadvantages: fewer opportunities are posted. Again, a lot of the hidden market is happening. Time consuming to uncover jobs, because you have to read and go through all of that flyers, newsletter. It's overwhelming. But stay focused, narrow down where your interests are. And yes, you're going to get all these invitations, but learn to be selective, so that you're not wasting your time as well. Now, the virtual ways. Here we are. The advantages of virtual career advantages are virtual career expositions, and right now virtual job fairs are on the rise. How many of you have received, I don't know, maybe like 10 invites to a virtual career fair? I wouldn't be surprised. However, identify free virtual career fairs. You never should pay to attend a career fair. I want to make sure that all of you hear that very clearly. Never pay for a career fair. Connect with professionals via the distance network. And that will be in your social media outlets. Stay connected. recruiters also in the virtual environment, they have developed this more cohesive way of networking and engaging with students. So the recruiters are most likely there to offer insight on the company's culture, their benefits, the jobs. Not only that, but how do you go through the process of their hiring process that they have? And they're gonna go ahead and share with you the ins and outs of how to go about doing that. The tricks of how to get into those environments. So again, however, the disadvantages, again, consider global times. If you are in the East Coast, if the job is in the East Coast and you're here in the West, you have to make sure that you understand the time difference so that you know when you're applying out there, and if you get a job, what that time difference is going to be for you. Also, some of the technologies that I'm sure most of you have experienced, I know I have experienced them, is technology challenges. When your Wi-Fi is not working, I know that I live right next to Cal State, and so there was a lot of winds, and we had no power for like almost a full day. But anyways, those are the disadvantages, but technology is always working for us and we'll make it happen. Moving on, I want to share this piece of, I guess, how can I say this? This is one of the pieces that was shared at the Careers in Film Summit for future filmmakers. So I want to make sure that you all have access to this, because this is a free place where you can start your networking and start connecting with filmmakers, independent filmmakers, just everyone in your industry. This collaboration platform was shared, and they I can tell you that a lot of the participants were already putting themselves and creating an account in this on this platform. Networking in person, this is going to be in the future. I included this because there's still some employers who are hiring in person. And so definitely network and utilize your network. Introduce yourself. Again, explain your interests, share your interests, have just a conversation. Inquire about your field. Just be a little owl. Who, what, and start asking, and always solicit advice only. Never ask for a job opportunity. This is not the space to ask for it unless it is offered, because all you're doing is just sharing what you enjoy doing. And guess what? The employer is probably thinking, oh my God, this person, I want them. They're so innovative. I mean, you are probably sharing your strengths, your qualifications right on the spot with this person in front of you. So that person may see, wow, this person, I want to bring them to my team, or I know of this other colleague of mine who would really benefit from your expertise and experience in their organization. That's what happens in networking. As for business cards, to follow up, and nowadays business cards, I put it in here because it's so old, but some people still use them. I know that if I'm going to connect with someone, I'm just going to say, can I connect with you in LinkedIn? And then I have them in the palm of my hand, and then that's a wrap, right? Scheduling informational interview, at least one informational interview with someone that you meet at any of the career fairs, any of the events that you participate in. Even if it's one of your professors, you can start with a professor so that you can, get good at this informational interviewing. And next thing you know, you're going to be like super excited of being part of that. This person that is meeting with you for an informational interview may also end up being your mentor. And we'll talk about mentorship at another workshop. Association websites are key. I cannot express how important it is for you to start networking in the professional environments that you aspire to be part of, because that's where you're gonna connect with everyone in your field. Next thing you know, it's gonna be a small world for you as a future filmmaker. And there's many lists called listserv. Get yourself in those listservs so that you can also receive the next event coming up in, for example, careers in film. That was a big deal. It was a huge event put together by by California State University's Chancellor's Office. Entertainment Alliance put that together. So we were very, very, very grateful for being part of that and allow us to participate. Okay, well, that's a wrap, everyone. I want to say thank you to all of you for being here. Again, I just want to share with all of you again, office hours via Zoom or telephone on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 5 to 7. I look forward to seeing you on the next appointment, and I also look forward to seeing you on campus. Have a great evening.